Tahiti sounds lovely. And if you'll call on the next person, Lashana, welcome. We're sharing where in the world you would escape to if you could. And so Jessica, do you have to Jose.
All right, since you, Cecilia, you mentioned the next couple of months, that for the next couple of months, the weather up in the mountains here, 2.5 hours away, I would go to the mountains and to a place called Boone, North Carolina.
Great. Jose, if you'll call on somebody.
I'll call on Lindsay.
Hi, everyone. You sound like some really great vacation spots. I would like to go to Canada, probably specifically Winnipeg. I have some friends in Winnipeg, so it'd be nice to see some friends, as well as they are doing a much, much better job containing their coronavirus outbreak than we are. So I don't know that they would let me in, but if they do, that's where I'd go. And I will call on Sarah.
Hi everyone. I would definitely escape and like Andrew would go to France and visit family for the rest of the year. And I'll call on Gina.
I would go to Jeju Island in Korea to be by the water and to be secluded. And I call on Monique.
Hi everyone. I would probably go to Florence, Italy.
Lovely. And and before you call on the next person, Monique, I'm going to just introduce, for those of you who have just joined us on the call, what we're talking about in our popcorn question today is, where would you escape to for the next couple of months if you could, and continue along doing what you need to be doing. Eric has put the agenda notes in the chat. Who is on the 415 number? Is that Jessica?
Yes. Hi, Cecilia.
Okay, good. Okay,
Jessica.
Great. I will make that note. So, welcome, Katie and Lashana, and
thank you.
Else. So, Monique, will you call on somebody who has not gone yet?
Sure. I will call on Lashana.
Hello. I've been watching Caribbean Life on Hulu nonstop to kind of secretly find out different islands to go to. And so far, I've liked what I've seen with St. Martin. So I may sneak away for there for a couple of months if I could, and stay in a nice little, somebody had like a tree house set up, but it was like a really elaborate glam tree house. So I would love to be there. And I bookmarked it on Airbnb. So I'm watching for those dates and I'm like, as soon as I can get there.
Who's next, Lashana?
Sorry about that. Jose, have you gone already?
Yeah, so I think Katie, Michael, I don't know if you went, Henry.
Well, Michael was actually going to be my first choice, so
well,
I'll go with Michael.
We're working from wherever we go. Can I work from a hammock?
If you want, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to hang a hammock up in some secluded corner of Yosemite, which is actually my virtual background right now. And I'll be there for a few months. Thank you. Who else hasn't gone? Give me a wave. Katie, I picked Katie.
Great, thank you. This isn't very far from where I normally hang out, but I would escape to a cabin in the mountains of North Carolina that had a giant front porch with a hammock on it and a vegetable garden and a stream nearby and someplace and easy places to hike and Wi-Fi. And
my kind of place, Katie.
I'm gonna popcorn to Hudson.
Hey, thanks, Katie. So I guess because I'm thinking tropical locations, but since the caveat is that we have to be able to work there, I don't know if I'll get much work done in a tropical location. So I would have to say I've been craving wanting to be on a ranch. So I would have to say Wyoming or Montana. And I think, is it Eric that still has to go?
And
Yeah, me and Henry, but I'll take it and then we'll hand off. I think Henry's left, and I'm not sure if there is anybody after that. I'm also going to go to a cabin not too far from here up in Taos, New Mexico. So close, but not too far. And I will hand off to Henry.
Yes, thank you, Eric. Nice to be here. So I will go home to Nigeria to family because it's been a while, and I have a daughter now that is 8 months, and they don't know her yet. Like physically, they haven't met physically, but we speak virtually all the time. I'm probably be in the farm, you know, catch up with all of the years that I missed working in the farm. And yeah.
That's lovely, Henry. And I hope you get to see your daughter soon. I know it's nice to imagine where you would be sometimes as we're stuck wherever we are. So, so it was nice to be able to take a virtual vacation with everybody. Today we have the honor and the benefit of having Sarah and Jessica join us from Start Out. In the remainder email that we sent out a couple of days in advance, you got to preview the Pride Index. So Eric, I'm going to turn it over to you to kind of set the stage. And for those of you who came in just a little bit after, I will add the link to the ESHIP Summit. And thank you for bearing with me as I had somebody coming along and asking for my attention. I wanted to also let you know for this ESHIP Summit, we talk about ecosystem building being a team sport. And we wanted to make sure that you had fellow co-collaborators with you to be able to attend. So I'm also going to put into the chat, there's a link for a group discount. So if you have 3 or more people that you can convene together, you're able to submit for a discount code, and they'll email you a discount code and you can share it for 3 or more people, just as a way to help ecosystem build together. And as always, we never want attendance at the ESHIP Summit to be a barrier, for cost to be a barrier. So there is a link for submitting for a scholarship, as there usually is. So the cost for the summit is $95, and that would welcome you to the 15th, 16th, and the 29th. As I mentioned very early on in the call, so the 15th is a general overview of ecosystem building. It's a really great opportunity because I've heard from many of you, the one thing that you wish you could tell the world about ecosystem building is the fact that there are ecosystem builders out there and you're all doing the work. And so it's more of an introduction. So somebody who's used it in interesting context, somebody who's ecosystem curious, those are really great people to attend. The 16th, there'll be a little bit more about some of the tools and programs around the area. And there's a current call for submissions. If you have a story, a program, an idea, something that's been working in a community that you'd like to share, the deadline for submission is Monday, the 10th. So you have a couple of days to put together. It's a fairly easy presentation process. No big drawn out, big questions or whatnot. Just tell us what you'd like to present on. And then the 29th is more of a field focused day. And it's more about the people who are building this thing called ecosystem building. So the profession of ecosystem building, more of the structural stuff and stuff. So yes, it is totally a field day. So think about field day when you were in school and kind of breaking off into teams and working together collaboratively. That's what we're planning for the day of the 29th. So the $95, Gina, includes all of it. We do ask specifically, if you're interested in attending on the 29th, we understand that that's a more focused thing. So there's another couple of questions if you're interested in that. But everyone is welcome. So I'll put those links in and then I'll turn it over to Eric.
Sweet. Well, I think I'm particularly excited. I think this is a really good topic. So what I like about our speaker and the topic today is, as ecosystem builders, some of the things we're always trying to do is promote and connect our entrepreneurs, but also provide a sense of community and the opportunity for collaboration. And also, so this connects a lot of the different ESHIP goals. And that's one reason why I was really excited about this topic, because it's also providing the tools for both ecosystem builders and the entrepreneurs they serve to help grow their business, to help show the impact of the work that's happening and how important it is. And in particular, how important inclusion is. So we've asked Sarah to join us here today, and I think Jessica as well, that's great, to share a little bit about what StartOut does as an organization, and then also the StartOut Pride Economic Inclusion Index, which was released, I want to say about 4 or 5, maybe a little bit over a month ago, because I think it's a great tool. I've dug in a little bit, but I think we're really interested in seeing how can that help us as ecosystem builders work with our entrepreneurs and build those communities. So I will hand off. Are we ready for Sarah to share, Cecilia? Is she empowered to do all that kind of good stuff? Okay, awesome. I will hand it off to Sarah. Thank you.
Amazing. But thank you, Eric. Thank you, Cecilia. I'm very happy to be with everyone today. I'll introduce myself super quickly, but I'm here, yes, with Jessica Shinfu, with our new index manager, actually, for the past 10 days now, 2 weeks. So I'm very happy she could join us today. Super quickly about me, Sarah Burgot, I'm sure you can hear, I am French, been living in the Bay Area for the past 6 years. We've started out for the past 2.5 years. My background is in impact investing and social entrepreneurship. And I'm now the CEO at StartOut, so in charge of partnership in general and building bridges with stakeholders and all the people that are making it available for us to do the great work that we do. So I'll give the mic, I guess, to Jessica quickly so she can introduce herself as well.
Yeah, I'm on my phone. So thanks, Sarah, and I'm glad to be here with you all. So I'm originally from Tahiti, French Polynesia, so I'm also French. And I have a background more in working with startups. I did M&A scouting for French energy groups on clean tech. Worked with nonprofit as well in more microfinance integrated services under the MasterCard Foundation. Angel invested. My family had assets in the leisure and luxury space of French Polynesia. So usually I scout innovation in hospitality and leisure, but we've been so badly impacted with the pandemic. So right now that's not the case, but I'm also part of a ecosystem that focuses on software development integration to do Kiwi Tech, and joined StartOut just 10 days ago to promote the mission of economic development and more inclusion in this space. So glad to be here, and yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Jessica. So I guess, as Erika mentioned, I'd love to quickly, but really quickly, tell you a little bit more about StartOut, and then we can jump in and kind of introduce you to the StartOut Pride Economic Impact Index that we just launched actually on July 15th. So it has been, yeah, a little bit less than a month ago. I'll share my screen if I can do that. Perfect. Great. Can you all see? I guess, yes, great. And please feel free to interrupt or ask questions as we go, if you prefer, if something is not too clear. So basically, StartOut, we are a nonprofit organization. We've been around for 10 years, and our mission is to support the economic empowerment and drive the economic empowerment of the LGBTQ community. We work on stories, but also on direct support, working as an incubator / accelerator for LGBTQ startup funders all over the US. to give you an idea of like the size of the community. So yeah, we started in 2009. We've built a community of 17,000 people, including a little bit over 5,500 members from 50 countries that are enrolled in our different programs. Even if we have members in 55 countries, 95% of our members are based in the US or in North America. We have chapter cities in 6 chapter cities all across the US, so San Francisco, LA, Austin, Chicago, New York, and Boston. And we organize around 80 plus events every year in those different cities. In terms of programming, we have different type of support that we provide to LGBTQ startup funders. At the community level, we have an online community, and as I was saying, we organize in-person events, so really trying to foster that community spirit and connect people to one another, especially in the States where it's still very difficult to be out as an LGBTQ entrepreneurs. And when there is no role models, we are trying to make sure that people can connect to start out. So we've built an online forum, an online platform, so that people can really connect to one another. And that's 100% free thanks to the support of the sponsors we work with. At the second level, we really provide direct supports to funders at the individual level and startup level. And so we have different programs that we run, mentorship program, expert office hours, connection to investors. There is a little bit of a figure on the slide to give you an idea of the impact. So we have been matching almost 500 mentors and mentees for the past few years. We are working with a community of 230 plus accredited investors, VCs, and angel to make sure that our community members can successfully fundraise. And in terms of expert office hours, we've been providing 900 plus office hours on different topics like fundraising, marketing, PR, company growth, etc. And at the higher level of support, I call it the higher level of support because it's really tailor-made, high density support. We have what we call the Startup Growth Lab, which is basically a 6 months accelerator program where we support 5 to 7 selected startups every 6 months. We've run 6 cohorts so far, graduated 29 companies that collectively raised 59 million and created 250 jobs. And that's the most impactful program that we've had. All of that just to share that we are a hands-on support organization for LGBTQ entrepreneurs, usually pre-seed to Series A, all over the US, industry agnostic. So why did we basically decide to work on creating an index and launch a research project? Because that's basically what the Startup Pride Economic Impact Index is about, is that for the past 10 years that we've been around, no one has been measuring the contribution of LGBTQ entrepreneurs in the space. And at this point, we felt that there was a need really to share the data and in our fight for more education and a more inclusive ecosystem, there was a need to gather that data, share that data, and show that data. So we decided that we could work on it and lead it. And of course, we didn't do it alone, but we've been really working with amazing partners to make it happen. Quickly, what it is before I show you what it looks like. The index for us, the main goal really is to quantify the unrealized potential of out LGBTQ entrepreneurs and specifically high growth entrepreneurs. And we can go into detail about what we mean by high growth entrepreneurs. But yeah, the idea is what is the unrealized potential for the US economy of LGBTQ entrepreneurs? The index is many things at the same time. It's a website where you can visualize the data. It's also the data set itself. And it's an algorithm and an economic model because of course we are trying to quantify the potential. So we had to make assumption about what that means. And so to get there, we measured 2 things: the existing contribution, the real counted contribution of LGBTQ entrepreneurs, but also the achievement gaps. And we try to do it at the global level, at the city level, and on different sub-factors. The 4 factors that we've been measuring and quantifying is funding, so level of funding, amount dollar of funding, job creation, patents, and exit. So those are the factors that we've been working on. And not at this point, not what you're going to see online, but really the end goal and the next version of the tool will include policy and program data to try to identify correlation between those policies and program data with the impact and the performance of LGBTQ entrepreneurs. The perks of this tool is that we've been working with Sokos Lab, and so we built the tool for LGBTQ entrepreneurs, but you're going to see we also build it, and you can see the data for female entrepreneurs actually, and for all entrepreneurs in the US. So we have actually come up with and published like a tool that is providing data that was not available before, but also providing data for other diverse type of funders or underrepresented funders population. So you can see on my slide, that's what the tool look like. And if you use the link, you will see like the actual interactive tool on the website super quickly, because there is a lot of things on that tool. You can see the primary view is a map of the US, and on the left side, you have the different sub-factor I was mentioning before: funding, jobs, patent, and exits. On the map itself, you have the circle, and the size of the circle is basically the volume of the impact, the scale of the impact, and the color is the achievement gap. At the top of the map, you can see the different population I just mentioned. So LGBTQ, female, or all entrepreneurs. Again, this is only high growth entrepreneurs in the US. You can also see means and totals. So you can switch the view to see either the totals that kind of give you more like a vision of what's happening at the city level or the metro area level. And the means is more like a way to kind of envision what happened at the individual and entrepreneur level. And on the left, where you see the different sub-factors, you have actual versus achievable. And that's what I mentioned earlier. So actual is actually what we counted, and all the entrepreneurs and their funding level, job creation level, patent, and exit that was counted through, like it has been a 2-year project. It took a while. And the achievable in purple, that is what we think could have been achieved if we would remove systemic barriers to inclusion for LGBTQ entrepreneurs and female entrepreneurs, and if people could realize their full potential. I might just stop for a second because I feel I've been talking a lot, and I don't know if there is any question on the tool itself or anything at this point before we dig into a little bit more of the partnership and the data set and all of it.
I have a question.
Sure.
Where does the data come from?
Great question. So we've been working with actually a lot of partners. So the data itself, in terms of like the funding, jobs, patent, exits, patents, we use the national database for patents and IP in general. That's public knowledge. For funding, job, and exit, we use PitchBook and Crunchbase, like all the data that is actually already available on entrepreneurs in general. And then the tricky piece, and we can discuss it a little bit longer, was the identification of LGBTQ status. That was a little bit more tricky than what we envisioned at the time. But we've been basically working with a lot of partners and taking a multiple avenue approach to try to work on that piece, because we could not find any quickly accessible and reliable data on LGBTQ status, I guess, at first. And it has been...
So if an LGBTQ plus entrepreneur has a business that is not patentable, they would not show up in your database.
You mean if they were not out?
If they are out, but you said you're getting the data from patent databases?
Yes, so we have been collecting 20 years of data since 2000 about high growth entrepreneurs, all of them. Like all.
How do you define high growth?
Good question. So we've been defining high growth so there is 4 criteria. Either people got VC funding, either people raised more than $1 million in angel funding, either they got acquired or had a successful exit, or they created jobs or had some kind of IP. And there is a full methodology on our website, but those were the full criteria. And I'll go into more detail about how many entrepreneurs it is in the US and how it is. But yeah, we collected the data on all entrepreneurs. And then we added the layer of LGBTQ self-identification because the tool is not there to out anyone. And yeah, we compared that data with the overall population of high growth entrepreneurs.
So most of the time when people talk about high growth, they're talking about businesses that can scale quickly, which usually means information technology, biotechnology, biopharma. Doesn't mean your local dry cleaners or a restaurant or coffee shop or daycare center or any of the types of Main Street businesses that actually represent most of the entrepreneurs in this country. So I'm saying that the data is wonderful, but it is very clear that is missing most of the businesses because it's hard to find that information. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to get VC funding on your dry cleaner. You're not going to get funding. You're not going to have a patent. Probably a successful exit, but probably after 20 years. So I'm thinking that your data is really, whatever the numbers, however impressive they are, they're an indication, and it is true that the numbers are actually much, much higher.
Yes, and I think you are totally right. The first version of the tool is really focusing on high growth entrepreneurs the way we have defined it, and not all business owners.
Okay.
Because yeah, you're right. That would be, first of all, that would be way more people. But we are comparing high growth entrepreneurs, all demographics, and LGBTQ entrepreneurs. And yeah, that's the focus of the first version of the tool. And yeah, something to say that, of course, that's a first iteration and we are trying to improve it. And the data is real-time updated. Data. But yes, the tool is for high growth entrepreneurs only at this point.
And any plans to add data sets for minorities, ethnic minorities?
Yes, so let me go back to the history and the partners because that's very much answering your question. So this, yes, so the answer is yes. The short answer is yes. This partnership, like this project came from a partnership that we started in 2016 with Socos Lab, which is Berkeley-based incubator type of AI ML leveraging incubator that is trying to provide analysis on data to help business leader in general. And so Socos Lab and started published a report in 2016 called The State of LGBTQ Entrepreneurship in the US. That was kind of a static report on challenges faced by LGBTQ entrepreneurs and kind of pointing out the absence of data. 2 years ago, kind of as a follow-on, we started working on this version of the index, developing like a big data driven analysis on a number of minorities. And really Socos Lab original idea was to not only do it for LGBTQ entrepreneurs, but really create a tool that can be applied for any type of entrepreneurs, immigrants entrepreneurs, veterans entrepreneurs, any type that you want to pick. And so that's why like this version of the index that you can see online has female entrepreneurs, but you can put any data set and now that the tool has been built, of course it will improve, but yes, that can be used for any type of entrepreneurs. So Socos Lab is really, has developed like the brain of the index and the visualization and start out as initiated a project, worked on the project management, raised fundraising, and really worked on identifying LGBTQ out entrepreneurs and put that layer and really collect that data. That's been kind of difficult based on the community we work with. We got a lot of help from different partners. JP Morgan Foundation has been the main financial sponsor for the project. We worked 2 years ago with the Kaufman Foundation on really building our system infrastructure so that our data and all the data we've collected for the past 10 years can be included in that data set. And we finally launched the project in July 15. quickly about the data set, maybe that will help a little bit. So as I said, we collected the data since, like the data is since 2000, so 20 years of data. We put out there on the map only metro areas for which we could identify or count at least a minimum of 50 growth entrepreneurs. So that's only 77 metro areas in the US compared to a total of 384. And so we found total, not LGBTQ, 85,000 growth entrepreneurs, the way we defined it. Of course, as I said, we measured the 4 criteria, so job, funding, patent, and exit. And the data set shows actual performance and unrealized potential, or as we call it, achievable potential. And it gives you an index number that is out of 100. And if you wonder, like, I am not a data scientist, so I apologize if my knowledge is poor on the methodology and the algorithm, but the way I like to think about it is like a city would get an index of 100 if they would score best in class in the country for all 4 sub-criteria. So if they would score the best at job, funding, patent, and exit, they would get 100 out of 100. No cities have ranked 100 out of 100. And just to show you like an overview of the total findings for LGBTQ funders, out of those 85,000 growth entrepreneurs, which represent 61,000 companies, we could find only 380 LGBTQ-led companies, which is way below what we thought we would find, which is also way below general population for LGBTQ people versus general population. Out of the 77 metro areas where you have at least 50 growth entrepreneurs, only 1/3 of those metro, we could find at least 1 company that is LGBTQ-led. So that shows that there is a lot of room for improvement in a lot of cities and metro areas across the US. And you can see here on the slide that the total funding for LGBTQ high growth entrepreneurs in the US that we have found is 69 billion versus 1.2 trillion for all high growth entrepreneurs that are counted in that data set. There is a lot of finding and insight, so I'm just going to share some of them with you, and then we can very happy to jump into more question and just discussion. Here are some of the findings. So the tool and the index shows that with a more inclusive access to resources and a level playing field that is more accessible for LGBTQ entrepreneurs, we could have had at least 2 million jobs in the US created for the past few years. We saw that data set also shows that, about 10% of high growth LGBTQ entrepreneurs who could have been expected to raise at least $1 million or be high growth entrepreneurs didn't actually, 10% actually raised it. And so 90% didn't actually raise that funding. As I said, 60% of the metro areas who have more than 50 high growth entrepreneurs in general do not have any single LGBTQ outlet startups. And in terms of disparities across cities and location, nearly 80% of the funding that goes to LGBTQ high growth entrepreneurs went to entrepreneurs that are based in the Bay Area. So those are some of the big findings. Again, we are very happy to have this tool out, but we didn't expect the finding to be the way they are, in a sense that they were pretty, not depressing, but sobering for us. We thought there would be a little bit more contribution from LGBTQ startup, and that there would be way more out entrepreneurs than what we could actually find and counted. And again, it is a 2-year project, so we've been spending a little bit of time trying to figure that out. Sorry for so the challenge quickly. So there is 2 things I wanted to mention, and then we can go to the question and the chat. And sorry, I've not been able to see all the question in the chat. Just wanted to share quickly with you the main challenge and maybe how it can be used for ecosystem builders and people in general, and then happy to jump into more question. Main challenge has been the lack of quickly accessible and reliable data. To share a little bit about how it was made, the whole project. So we worked with a data mining company at the beginning of the project, and we realized pretty quickly that the accuracy they could reach was only 60%. So in terms of like identifying out LGBTQ entrepreneurs, their data set was accurate only at 60%, and we were hoping to get to 90 to 95%. So we had to exclude totally all the data that were coming from that tool. We used it as a starting point, but really we had to go into a way more manual approach and multi-avenue approach to get to where we are, meaning that we've been spending a lot of time to leveraging amazing actually community partners, and they were able to share the data set with us. We worked with data experts on how we can really promote and incentivize self-identification at a large scale. And that's a lot of partnerships as well. And we also spend a lot of time just manually reaching out to a lot of entrepreneurs to double check the accuracy of the data that were provided by the partner that we had originally. And this is still a challenge, I think, with the other iteration of our tool on performance metrics. We will have to also have a more manual approach and collaboration approach on finding the data. On the brighter side, and I'll be done very soon. Really, again, the long-term goal of this tool for us is really to provide decision-making tool for leaders, ecosystem builders, investors, for them to be able to actually not guess what's happening, but see the data and see the actual contribution and what can be achieved. So we are reaching out at this point now that we have published the tool, and we reach out to municipalities and potential partners about how to use the tool. And the next version that will provide correlation or potential analysis between policy making and impact will probably be super useful. At this stage, there is still a lot that can be done with the tool. I think the first part is really like education and sharing broadly. Again, this is the first time we are measuring the contribution of LGBTQ entrepreneurs in the US. So sharing the data, the insight, and just the fact that the tool exists and can be replicated is one way to use the tool. And the second part is like, there is a lot of granular data on industry at metro level, city level. Feel free to use the tool to explore your own city, share what you discover. We are very happy to receive any comments about insight that you find. Again, the tool is LGBTQ female and all entrepreneurs, and hopefully in the future it's going to be about other underrepresented funders. So the tool is kind of fun to use. You can dig into the insights and share with us or with others. There is a lot to be discovered at this point. I don't know, Jessica, if you want to add anything, but happy to answer any question that on the chat or that people have. And sorry again, there is a lot of background noise around me. I apologize.
I think we would, I like Katie's point. Do you have a part two to this discussion? Maybe. I think that there's an opportunity to continue in Slack as well. So I'll make sure that Sarah and Jessica are invited. Jessica, did you have anything you wanted to add before we go to questions? And then I do actually have a request of everyone in the community to just an activity to do really quickly for the ESHIP Summit. So, so Jessica, I yield the floor to you.
Thanks. No, I think really just wanted to resonate again and voice in terms of awareness of the data, of having the index. And if you know within the community as ecosystem builder and being part of it, if you out of the metrics of how we identify those high growth entrepreneurs within the community to be part of the index. So really just voicing that. And I know we're limited on time, so available for any clarification or questions that you may have by email, Slack, however channel you'd like to go.
Great. So I'll make sure that the link to the chat is in here. There is a goal 1 channel in chat. I'm going to invite all of you who are off screen, if you can hear me, to come back on screen for just a minute, because I do have a request of all of you. I probably should have said that early in the beginning of the call. So, so I apologize for not letting you know in advance, but we wanted to highlight basically the faces of all of you as ecosystem builders for the summit. So I'm going to invite Jessica and Sarah maybe to go through the chat to kind of respond to any of the questions. I will put this on speaker view. So hopefully we will be able to see everybody as they speak. So I don't know, is that doable? Okay, so here's what we're gonna do as a clip for the ESHIP Summit. I would like you to, let's see, do we have a gallery view or do we have a speaker view? I'm just trying to figure out if we stop sharing screen. Come on. Let's see if I can make this go the way I want it to. Okay, so we're going to put it on speaker view. I'm going to ask you, I think Tiffany shifted the question on me. So, so as each of you in alphabetical order, really quickly, to be able to say your name, your community, and say, I'm an ecosystem builder because, and fill in the blank. And so I will type this into the chat and everybody should be in name order. I don't know. I've got Jessica's voice on here. Just trying to figure out how we do it so that all the speaker views show up. Okay, everybody look and smile at the camera. Eric, can you test out the thing so I can just make sure that it's working?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, now you've come on screen, so that's good. Okay, so you can go back now. It's okay. We'll start in alphabetical order, which means Amy comes first. So does anybody have any questions about this really quick? And then hopefully we'll have a minute or two at the end. I just wanted to make sure we capture everybody before you had to run off. So
do we all say it at the same time?
No, no. So in the order in the chat.
Alphabetical order, I'm sorry,
Okay,
yes.
so in the order that it says, all of your names should be alphabetical. Did I leave anyone out? Okay, so it's your name, whatever your community you identify with, and just say, I'm an ecosystem builder because, and then whatever your answer is to that question. Amy, are you there?
I'm here.
All right, how comfortable do you feel?
I feel great being the first one to go, I'll tell you all that.
Excellent. Okay, everybody knows which order they're going in. All right, we're going to give this a try. Go ahead, Amy, you're on.
All right. My name is Amy Hopper. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas, and I represent the state of Arkansas and the Mississippi Delta. And I'm an ecosystem builder because I think entrepreneurs are the future of our great communities.
My name is Andrew. I'm based in Liverpool and I work with various universities across the UK and Europe. And I'm an ecosystem builder because I believe entrepreneurship can make a better world.
Hey everyone, I'm Eric Whitmore. I'm with Forward Cities and I'm based in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I'm an ecosystem builder because I want to provide more opportunity for entrepreneurs to get involved and get the resources that they need.
I'm Hassan Bazi with Forward Cities. I'm based in Detroit, and I'm an ecosystem builder because I believe building a community is the foundation of everything.
Hello, my name is Henry. I'm from Athens, Greece. I'm an ecosystem builder because I believe entrepreneurship can create more value to the world, and entrepreneurs are amazing people that can bring change that we want to see.
Jennifer? Did we lose Jennifer? Okay. Jessica?
Hi, my name is Jessica Shinfo, and I'm a minority founder and investor representing Kiwi Tech and Startout. I'm an ecosystem builder because I believe in inclusion, in innovation, and creating opportunities to create a sustainable world.
Great. Gina?
Hi, my name is Gina Kim, and my community is K-12 education. I'm based in Los Angeles. I am an ecosystem builder because I believe collaboration is the only way to amplify our collective support to rebuild our education system.
Hi, my name is Jose Alvarez. I am with Prosper, North Carolina, and my community is the entire amazing state of North Carolina. And I am an ecosystem builder because I believe helping immigrant entrepreneurs become assimilated through entrepreneurship is the best way to go and become economically independent in the US.
My name is Katie Gales. I'm with Wake Technical Community College, and my community is the county of Wake in North Carolina. I'm an ecosystem builder because I believe that entrepreneurs provide the solution to all of our social and economic challenges.
I am Lashana Lewis. My community is the entrepreneurs of color, as well as women entrepreneurs in the St. Louis metropolitan region. And I'm an ecosystem builder because I was a troublemaker as a kid, and that trouble ended up getting me into doing a fabulous job. And in the words of John Lewis, I believe good trouble is what is going to change the world.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Harrison with BioSTL, and I support minority entrepreneurs in St. Louis, Missouri, in the St. Louis metro area. And I'm an ecosystem builder because I believe no one succeeds on their own, and building a community and collaborating is what will help drive success.
Hi, my name is Mark Lawrence with Incubate. My community, my local community is Largo, Maryland, which is right outside of Washington, D.C., but I also do work in other ecosystems around the country, specifically around underserved and underrepresented founders. So I am an ecosystem because I think that entrepreneurship and innovation creates opportunities to transform lives and creates more for the new majority.
Hey, I'm Michael Norton, and I'm based in San Diego, California. And I'm an ecosystem builder because I believe that when we all work together through entrepreneurship, involving all the stakeholders in a community, we're able to create better solutions to bigger problems for a more diverse and larger group of people. We can make a bigger impact together.
Hi, my name is Monique Epps. I am located in Los Angeles, California, and my community is the K-12 public education space. I am an ecosystem builder because I believe in the power of this type of work to change the public education system for the better.
Hi, so I'm Sarah Burgo, representing the Startout community and LGBTQ entrepreneurship community as a whole. I guess I'm an ecosystem builder because I believe in a collaborative approach to fight and face all the challenges we are facing at this point, and really like to connect and build bridges between organizations. Thanks.
My name is Tiffany Henry, and I am from Russellville, Arkansas. I'm an ecosystem builder because I believe in reducing barriers for rural entrepreneurs.
Excellent. Thank you so much. All of you did such a wonderful, remarkable job. So I appreciate all of your time and energy. Thank you for letting us cut into some of the programs. I'm going to make sure that I take Jessica's picture so that I can tack it onto her video since her stuff cut out. Here is, in the meantime, the link in the chat for for the Slack channel. And then for those of you who could stay for just a couple of minutes, I would love to thank, first of all, let you know that we're going to do that on all the calls. If you didn't like what you said or would like to do over, I will invite you to join other ESHIP calls through the course of the month so that we can get as much representation together on the ESHIP during the summit as we can. And yes, you can wear lipstick if you want to, Katie, but you look beautiful anyway. So if Sarah and Jessica will do us the honor, thank you for letting us take this pause to make sure that we got everybody that we could. If you will do us a favor and answer any of the other questions, or feel free to pose any others. We can go a little bit over the hour for any of you who are able to do that.
Great. I think I saw a pending question from Andrew about is the success of the tool dependent on self-reporting for LGBTQ data? It is actually not. I didn't have time to cover, but if you see the index, like you have actual counted and actual estimated, and we extrapolated some of the data to incorporate for lack of, if we missed anyone, and for the parts of people that are out, there is an approximate general population. Like usually we estimate that 3 to 5% of the population identify as LGBTQ as a whole. So we took that into account. And so the achievable potential is really based on the fact that we have that missing data. So the answer is like, no, the success of the tool is not dependent, but we would love to get to a point where counted and estimated actual is almost the same. And we are not there just yet. I hope that was clear.
Thank you.
Other questions? I know that there were some really good ones in the...
I mentioned in the chat, just in case there are any additional answers or additional information, that is in the, it's in the notes and agenda doc if we've got something there. And when we update that, we'll share that out on the Slack channel as well. But just big thanks to our presenters here today. You know, a really great presentation and an awesome tool to dig into more.
Sarah, will you be able to share the slide deck that we can put on the dashboard or in the Slack channel? That would be great. And if you're open to having them connect with you on Slack to be able to message you and ask questions, Jessica and Sarah, that would be wonderful as well. We are sorry Anders couldn't join us, but I'm sure that he's off in Europe having a good time. Is there...
Contact details are also on the deck, so I'll share the deck, and really we welcome any feedback, insight, comments. If you want to connect offline and discuss some more, Jessica and I are very happy to get your feedback, because you've been doing the work as well and know the complexity of this work. So we really welcome any comments, feedback, and potential collaboration. But thank you for the opportunity, and yeah, looking forward.
Absolutely. And I think to Katie's point, I would love to see the index be expanded to Main Street entrepreneurs and people that may not be able to. Well, I don't know. I mean, how do you capture from a community that may not be comfortable with being out, but wanted to make sure that they were acknowledged? So we have an entire goal team around metrics that are interested in finding out more of those answers. So that would be great. Any parting comments, questions? I'm happy to see all of your lovely faces. Thank you so much for being part of this, and we look forward to seeing you at the ESHIP Summit. I think it wouldn't be a surprise to let you know, because as we wrap up in August, we're seeing as these calls go on that there needs to be more overlaps and conversations across the goals. We're starting to see how metrics would definitely gain a lot of insight and knowledge and add to conversations like this, how universal support could expand and amplify the messages of all of this work out further, and the storytelling groups. So, so the ESHIP champions are really thinking hard about what these calls might look like. I don't think they're going to look like 7 individual goal calls and a storytelling call. I have a notion that there will be some community building calls, some introductions for all of you who are new, who would like to ask more questions, maybe some more project focused conversations, and then deep dive conversations into subjects like this, where there is a whole call dedicated to talking about LGBTQ entrepreneurs and such. So think about that. If you have any ideas or any suggestions, please feel free to reach out. This is your community. We're here to support what you need. So, so the invitation is there and open, and we appreciate your time and energy in all of this. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of your week. And thanks for taking a little vacation with us to somewhere to escape to.